Right, hi there. Today we're playing Euro Truck Simulator 2 with a standard type Scania G450. It's a 6x2x4 mid-lift axle, so we can lift his middle wheels. Also, it's Scania's standard 12-speed gearbox with retarder. And it is a proper Scania gearbox configuration. Truck is box standard, and that's about it really. We're starting in Plymouth. We're going to start in Plymouth, and I've just accepted a job to Rexford, Ireland. So little journey by little journey. We are running Pro mods on 1.37. So it'll show up some better stuff really than the standard game. Yeah, so if there's any questions you want to ask, just pop in. Hopefully I've positioned the camera good so you can see my gears, my splitter at the front and Ranger at the side, and the full control panel works as well. So basically just have a watch. If there's anything you want to ask, I've got my phone next to me, and you can also just drop me a comment in there and I'll answer you back over the microphone. So first of all,
sit back, relax and let the dulcet tones of James May guide you safely into a deep slumber. To your destination. What could possibly go wrong?
we also do have the Grand Tour as my GPS voice, so that should be a little bit interesting. On a second note, we also don't use on-screen mirrors. I like to check my mirrors properly, like that, so I can see the full length of my cab basically. There's no limit there. I can see the full length of my cab, which is a good thing. So let's get out of here, get some fuel in the truck first, because we've only got half a tank. Well, trust it for us to be raining. Let's fill this tank up, and then we'll go pick his trailer up to go to Rexford.
Turn left. At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit.
Oh, crash here. I'd just sneak in front in this lane.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. You have reached your destination. Well done. Although, frankly, I did all the hard work.
Also, if the stream quality is not good enough or my FPS drops, be sure to let me know in the comments. As obviously I'm watching my stream, but your stream's never really affected via local Wi-Fi. So if the stream isn't up to scratch, please let me know.
No?
Right, well, we've got his trailer to Rexford. We are going to need axles down. This is an 18-ton trailer plus the weight of the cab. There we go.
The best backseat drivers you've ever had.
Put this trailer on,
Show on the road.
and off to Rexford we are.
Turn left. Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right.
At the minute we've just set off. We are averaging 79.9 litres per 100 mile. Hopefully I want to get that down a bit. The Scania G450 is quite very economical, especially on motorway runs. It can come down to as little as 45 litres to 100 mile, which is very good. Just to give you an idea of where we're going, this is the Pro Mods map. So we're in Plymouth. We're going to go up by Cardiff on the M4, past Swansea, up to Fishergard, and then to Rexford. And from Rexford I might do another little journey to see where we can go from there. I shouldn't be really this close to the driver in front, but I hate this 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. And besides, you do have to consider that it might be a simulator, but it is just a game as well. You don't have a real HGV license. So at times you can break the rules, and that can be the fun bit about it. Let's get us cruise control activated first at 56. and that's it. Now we know every time we resume cruise control on the button box, it is permanently stuck to 56 mile an hour. We've reset the tripometer, so we're 21 mile into the trip. Turn the wipers up. I don't want it ruining my view. I mean, trust me, to get in the cabin it starts raining again anyway. So, in case you don't know, I'm running this game with Logitech G920 Xbox version, as it has better firmware for the force feedback. People think they're exactly the same between the PS4 and the Xbox, and they're not. They are a lot different in the software. We're using clutch, accelerator, brake. We've got the pedals down there. Using a standard shifter box with a modified splitter and ranger button on the side of the gear stick. And then you're using an Arduino button box, which I haven't made. It is one I bought off eBay, this one. And it cost about £78. To consider what it is, how smart it looks.
Right, and then continue straight.
Yeah, like I was saying, to consider how it's been built, put together, the amount of switches, even the key ignition, it's value for money if you're not wanting to build your own. It's definitely value for money. And that's me veering out of lane. It's never any good. It always causes accidents. Ooh, that rain's lifting up really good now. I can feel a bit of lean on that. It got up to 60 mile an hour going downhill through the bend, and I could feel a bit of lean on the cap, bit of tension on the wheel. Only a very tiny bit, as your steering on the truck's always deadly light anyway. Mileage we have left is 318, which is not that much really, about half an hour, 35 minutes.
Continue straight.
I do stream a lot of other games, so if you're wanting any specific game streaming or an overview, or just let me know and drop me comments in the comment box. And I do tests on trucks as well. I do like my modded trucks. I like my old trucks, to be honest, like my Scania 4 series, my DAF 95 ATI. You know, so I do test a lot on mods as well. I don't always drive stock. I mean, as it is in the game as standard, you've got the 2019 Scania R, you've got this truck, but you don't have the Scania G 2019, which is the same dash. It's this dash, but you just don't have the plates at the front and the engines to correspond with the right badge numbers. You've only got the Scania S in the 2019 model. Which in real life, that's not true. The whole interior from the Scania 2019 is in the Scania S, G and L. M4, South Wales and Cardiff.
Keep left and then continue straight.
So with the Pro Mods map, it even changes
Continue
all your
straight.
signposts. Signposts do look a bit similar to that, but they are very much more basic with the standard map. But because we're running Pro Mods, because we're running Pro Mods, you've got more detailed signs, which is a lot better if you don't want to drive using the GPS. I think if there's only one more thing I could have to make it super realistic, I think for me, for the driving feel of it, would have to be the indicator stops. That would really make it feel realistic, pulling in and out of lanes like you do, because it's amazing how many times you pull in and out of lanes. Look at this guy, undertaking. I mean, by rights, I shouldn't be in the third lane, but every other truck in the game does. So, I figure I might as well.
Continue straight.
Normally, I do drive left-hand drive, but that's because I drive a lot in Europe. It's not very often actually I stay in the UK on this game, and even today we're not totally stopping in the UK. because we're off to Ireland. So it's one of them. At the minute, this is the only right-hand drive truck I've got. Steering is very sensitive, as you'd expect. Cabin suspension is
Keep right. And
about
then
3/4
continue straight.
hard and a 25% soft. So if you put the truck under some pressure, it
Continue
will
straight.
lean. Which is a good thing, because all trucks lean at some point. I think the worst one for cabin suspension would definitely have to be the Renault Magnum. Even out of the factory, they just lean really badly, even at low speed sometimes. Obviously, I've got all my custom sounds because this is 1.37. So for anybody who's not aware, 1.37 is the update to the brand new FM mod sound engine. So any truck sound you had before that was custom would not work. It changes the way the whole sounds are in the game. And the bestest thing about the new sound engine is you can split sounds up. So I can change my exhaust sound from the actual engine sound, and it's absolutely a brilliant update to the game. Bless SCS, they've continued updating it and updating it and updating it, and you know, it's turned into a brilliant simulator. We've got 226 mile on the trip now, so we are not that far. My stream is looking good, but like I say, if frame rates drop or it looks a bit jagged, don't fail to mention it to me, as I can change quite a few settings here already. I do realise now and again I do have a small intermittent problem with the webcam, and it keeps cutting out and then only for a few seconds and coming back on. That is simply because I need to rearrange my setup because it's running on an extension cable. You see, this is the difference between pro mods. In the game, as standard, you've got plenty. Oh, I just stalled. As I was saying, in the box standard game, the roads are quite bigger. So you don't have to work as hard to drive to keep your truck in lane, but with the Pro Mods, man, the roads, the way they look, the way they feel, the hazards on the roads are so much more realistic. And I mean, Pro Mods map really does make the big difference. For me it does. Especially in the UK. But what Pro Mods will also give you is a very realistic feel to what you're driving on. For example, it adds tons of new docking ports, ferries, all the proper cargo ports you can get in real life are on there. You know, so when you're actually driving, you know, to a real port, it changes how it feels in the game. So it's definitely, if you've got a powerful enough PC, I would definitely recommend downloading Pro Mods to go with your game. Pro Mods doesn't work friendly with other mods though, depending on what they are. Sounds, Pro Mods generally works with. Other truck mods, mostly yes. There is the odd one or two that will cause a conflict. Trailers and paint jobs, you've got to be careful with them especially. Ooh. Had to be really quick on those brakes then. Even with a retarder fitted. Trying to fit those brakes when they did, I'd have written. So it is quite realistic. You will get the random drivers that pull straight out at you. And obviously if you're wanting either to know what Pro Mods is like, or what's... Woo! This guy thinking they can just... thinks I'm not there. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking to see what the game's like, the game is multi-adaptable. If there's nothing that you want on it, you can always get a modder to make it for you. Might cost you a few quid, like, but the game's definitely worth it. The physics are there, and the content can be there if you want it to be made.
Take the second exit.
I will say for most people though, the stock equipment is usually more than adequate.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit.
You see, this is the difference between the standard map and Pro Mods. To get round that roundabout then, I had to be really, really careful. And my wheels on my trailer were still mounting the roundabout. Only just, but that's a lot more like real life to me. A lot more.
The second exit.
Because a real truck driver has to be able to act on the spot. And if you've got no challenges while you're driving, how are you going to react on the spot? Well, the answer to that is you're not, because you don't need to. And that's what Pro Mods does. It gives you a tougher challenge. It brings it even more like real life with the very tight roundabouts. With the very tight roundabouts and the very tight country roads, it's all there. Even Egypt, and the bad drivers over there. You know, they really have done a cracking job. And if you are after ultimate realism, it's definitely the way to go with Pro Mods. If you're driving with a clutch, there's plenty of places that will force you to test your clutch control. I mean, quite a number of times when I've been up to Iceland, and I've pushed my truck to its limit. You know, I've took a Volvo FH12 with 25 ton on its back in manual, and it wouldn't do a hill start. So there is plenty of places that you can test. It's not just a test about driving, it's a test about control of your whole vehicle with this map.
At the roundabout, take the third exit. Exit. At the roundabout, take the first exit. Exit.
That's a police car because I'm speeding. Ah well, it is just a game. Now I've never been to this ferry port before, so I'm just going to slow down a bit.
Continue straight.
It looks simple enough, but trust me, not all ferry ports are simple enough to get in and out of. So if you've never been to one before, don't just zoom into it. Ah yeah, this is actually quite a simple
Make
port.
a U-turn. That's turning your car around to go in the completely opposite direction.
Ignore the sat nav. Right. Right, so we're departing from Fishguard and going to Rosley Europort, which will not take long. Right, here we go. Anyway, sorry for the slight little delay there. We are now actually at Europort. So our destination won't be far away. I actually don't know the exit out of this place. But we can turn pretty tight because oh, it's up there. Which side did the drive on an island?
Take the second exit.
Oh, that's good. It's still left hand side, yeah.
Exit.
So we're now in Ireland, of all places. Like I said, as you look at the scenery, it does look really realistic. The proper brands for petrol stations, buildings. Proper full beam headlights as well. And you've got the semi-flasher. This is where you would have to be careful though, because there's a lot of tricky bends around here, and if you've never driven on a road, I'd be very cautious to looking at your sat nav. to see where those tricky and tight bends
Keep
are,
right,
because sometimes
and
they're
then
really
keep
sudden.
left. Keep left. Continue straight, and then turn left. Turn left. In 200 meters, turn left. Turn left. You have reached your destination. Well done, although frankly I did all hard work.
Just remember, when you're reversing, you do it in slow increments. Never just put your foot to the floor while reversing. And we never use the onboard mirrors, we use the truck mirrors. You know, when we're using on-screen mirrors, I class that as cheating. It's not a proper simulator if you can't simulate all the aspects of driving. And that's that trailer in the parking slot as it's turned green. So let's go ahead, unhook that trailer, go back to the DAF dealership, as there are one or two things I would like to change on the truck. And then after that we are we're good to go to find another load. When you're off the public roads, it doesn't matter what side of the road you use, simply because the AI traffic does not use non-public roads, which makes travelling a little bit easier once you're pulling into a works yard or anything like that. Basically, the only adjustment I want to make is to take that hideous thing off my window screen and put an in-front sat-nav in, like that one. Now, on the other trucks I have a proper TomTom, but because this is the G series, we don't have all the accessories yet. So you've got a proper looking sat-nav there. It looks like a cheap one, if I'm honest. Right, now what we need to do is to go onto job market, go to freight market, and from here we will have a look at what other transportation is. So we've only got one list, so it is quite short, a bit too short if I'm honest. I may need to refresh the game. We've got London 4 tonne, radiators 9 tonne, London 21 tonne of chocolate. We have Perth as well, and Hull. The question is, where do we really want to go? I mean, we've got Perth. That would give us more driving time in Ireland. I think we will select Perth. It's a decent weight. It's 15 tonne as well. Yeah. So we're going from Rexford to.
Ready, set, let's start driving. Unless you're a dog, in which case stop mucking around, you're out of your depth.
So we're going from Rexford to Perth, which, believe it or not, is still in the UK.
Turn left.
Oops, did I not check my mirrors? Tell you what, let's, is not there, is stopped. And that is how easy an accident really is. And with true testing roads to put you to a proper test, then yes, it can be quite challenging not to crash. Also, your damage is in real time as well. And if you do damage over 8 to 9% of your truck, then your instrument's air pressure will actually start suffering as a result of it. If you damage your gearbox too harshly, the last gear will not be available to you, which will put your fuel economy up. And on top of that, your clutch will also go funny. It will not clutch out when you clutch out, which is quite realistic.
In 200 meters, turn right.
Oh, it's telling me where to go now. You see, when I'm driving down here and I'm looking at the different types of houses, the different types of houses
right.
make it look realistic anyway.
Turn left.
This is where our
You have reached
trailer
your
is.
destination. Well done. Although, frankly, I did all the hard work.
Right, so let's go and select our trailer to Perth.
Sitting comfortably. Seatbelt on. Ready? Good. Then let's begin
And
the
we will have a drive to Perth. That's our trailer there with the white line around it. Anything with a white line around it or a white box is your objective. And once your objective's done, I'm in the wrong position for that. What I'm going to do is pull right in front of it like that. That's a better position. There we go.
ready.
Trailer hookup point is on.
Well,
The Grand Tour is not responsible for bad directional advice or the smell coming from your glove box.
I do think the Grand Tour GPS is quite funny actually. I'm going to take the mid-lift axle up, as we've only got 15 tonne on and we don't really need the extra steering grip. Just remember, more rubber on the ground gives you more grip, but also can use more fuel as well. And in the certain circumstances, if you're travelling at really low speeds, it can also damage the road by driving with wheels down that shouldn't be down.
Turn left.
Remember when I set as cruise control to 56? As cruise control is still set to 56. All I have to do is push the resume button, which is that button, and if I push it down it resumes. If I push it up, it sets the speed. As long as you don't reset the speed, it will resume at 56 every time I push it. And then I can take my foot off the accelerator.
Keep left.
Volvo garage.
Keep right.
As you can see, the signposts while we're driving, all the road names are different. Like in the UK, we don't have an N80 road. So even when you're driving, you can usually tell where you are as long as you know the road structure, which is quite good.
Keep right.
Just remember, if there is any questions or anything you want to ask, you can just drop me a comment in the live stream. Also, might I add to you, when you do run over the cat's eyes, you can slightly feel them on the steering wheel. So we're going to drive through Dublin, 67 kilometres away. Not that far really. We haven't reset the trip distance. I usually do a trip distance to the whole time I've been on it. Total remaining distance is 533 miles. Knock a little bit of time off and mileage for the ferry, and you're looking at about 500 miles. 450 to 500. Even on the map, there's some beautiful scenery in Ireland. Really beautiful scenery. Just so you know, I do have flashy trucks. I have the top dog trucks with open pipes, custom fitted engines, and lots of stuff really. So if you're after a truck or an open pipe or a truck full of lights, just let me know and I'll arrange a stream. Hopefully now I'm streaming on YouTube. YouTube will save all my streams as well, which would be a very good thing. Those three little blips you can hear come on when I'm speeding. It's the sat-nav warning system for your speeding alert, which can be changed. I am thinking about changing one myself, to be honest. game time is 6:23. Time to turn those lights off. I'll leave my side
Keep
lights
left.
on. Massive roadworks on the other side. Things to test your driving skills. Cars are usually pretty realistic in which lane they need to be. So they do pull in most of the time. Just sometimes they don't. Which can be annoying, same as in real life. Remember, oh, we're in Northern Ireland. Also remember that because we're running a 6x2 axle, we do use fuel a lot quicker because the fuel tank's not as big. So if you see the fuel gauge going down quite a lot, it's not because we're consuming more, it's simply because it's a smaller tank, because there's not a lot of space for it on the chassis. I was only doing 56. Looks like he's not pulling out. I was expecting him to though. I'll tell you what, that was a close one. You've got to be really quick on those pedals to avoid accidents sometimes. The scenery on this custom map is very realistic. Gives you a realistic driving feel. And also, the biggest part about this map is AI trucks don't travel at 50 mile an hour. They travel at the proper 56 mile an hour. So when you're trying to overtake one on the motorway,
Continue straight. Continue straight, and then turn left.
we're going to Belfast. Well, towards Belfast. Ooh, that's a bit tight. I felt that lean a bit. Fuel usage now is down to 61.8 per 100 mile. So we are still slightly heavy on fuel, probably about average. If we can get that down to 50, we'd be running really good. Really, really good.
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left.
The North Line.
Keep right.
Oops, that was my bad. That really did look like a motorway. That didn't look like
Keep left.
there was no signs to slow down or... I got away with no damage. Londonderry. That's where we're heading to now, Londonderry. Total mileage left 330 mile. That's not bad.
Keep right.
On the M5. We're in cruise control at 56 and nicely cruising. Oops. Motorway ends soon.
In 200 meters, turn right. Turn right.
Ooh.
Keep
So
right.
we're in Lamb.
Keep left. And then turn left. Turn left.
This is some lovely scenery down here.
Keep right. Keep right. Make a U-turn. That's turning your car around to go in the completely opposite direction.
And this is a ferry. May look like a funny looking ferry to you, but it's the waiting queue for the ferry. So we are going to depart from Lamb and we are going to Carn Rhine. Right, new distance 269 miles. So now we are actually officially back in the UK.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
And there's a thing about what people say about it always raining in the UK. Funny, the game seems to correspond with that as well.
Exit.
Ooh, that's really tight.
Turn right.
Strand. We're on the A77. This is still classed as the UK.
In 200 meters, turn left.
The only other bit of advice I have for you,
Turn left.
which would save you a lot of accidents, is
In 200 meters,
Um,
turn left.
when you're in a built-up area or you've got built-up traffic in front of you,
Turn left.
you would be wise to follow the speed limit signs. simply because it does avoid harsh braking at the last minute. On the motorway it's hard enough to stop anyway, but in built-up areas, towns, cities, villages, your AI traffic will always do the speed limit. AI traffic only speed or can speed on the motorway. .244 mile left. This will be the last journey for today, and hopefully welcome to more of my streams coming on YouTube, simply because I used to stream on Facebook Live, and the problem is Facebook Live doesn't support 1080p streaming, and I just think it's a waste of money for the graphics card I've got if I can't stream in full HD so people can see exactly what I see, because in full HD or even 4K it is a stunning game. Oh, I missed the gear there. I came off the clutch too quick. That is realistic as well. You need to allow a minimum set time for the gear to grab. This guy's slowing me down. Speed limit is only 50. And the second thing to bear in mind is that AI traffic can slow down a lot quicker than you. Even the AI trucks can slow down a lot quicker than you. So sometimes what I'm doing, tailgate, isn't recommended. Especially if you're new to the game, it's not recommended. Keep your distance.
Continue straight.
Ali's off a bit returning anyway. And the roundabout's coming up.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Oh, Andy's going down here as well. Oh. And the speed cameras are real, they will fine you for speeding. So if you actually want to play the game to the letter, then you will need to look out for those speed cameras.
Keep left.
That's me in the wrong lane.
At the road, take the first exit. Exit.
Why are we slowing down? You see, trust me, you do get annoying AI drivers. We're in a 50 zone and he's doing 30. What I call a grandma driver. Oh, it's just 2 lanes, please. Motorway ahead.
Keep left. And then exit left.
Are you serious?
Exit left.
Oh god, don't take me his way. Oh, thank you. We are going to have to stop for fuel, we are on the It's because we haven't been motorway driving. Thank you. So far, 781 miles on the trip, 65.5 litres per 100 miles. So as fuel usage is going up, you can see the rest of the trucks, the real-time mirrors that are in place. It is really nice. All the dials work, the actual buttons light up once you push the functions. Same as this. I can fill this now, and that fuel gauge is going to go all the way to the top until she shows full. Total truck mileage altogether, we're at 1,824. Lanes are clear. Okay, let's pull out and put the foot to the floor. We've got 139 mile left. Let's put the metals down. $114 The road structure in the UK is a lot better than most places, meaning that the motorway system in the UK does give you the better mileage ratio than most other countries. Which is a good thing because your mileage goes down quicker. So we'll be there just short of 5-10 minutes, which is quite good.
Keep right.
So we've got signposts for city centre, Glasgow, Kilmarnock and Peewick. Oops, you didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention to my sat-nav. That really does show you just how easy it is to make a mistake, and sometimes you can't correct that mistake. Luckily enough, I quickly checked my mirror and pulled straight over.
Right.
But I'm not always that lucky when I miss something. Edinburgh, Stirling. Nice sunny day like this, let's open the window. Oh, nice sunny day, nice warm temperature. Keep the window down. He's doing a bit of speed behind me. "44 miles left." It's like the magic countdown, this. So now we're on an A road from the motorway. So we're turning off here towards Inverness.
Exit left. Continue straight and then turn left. Turn left and then continue straight. Continue straight.
But I'm a little bit impatient. Oops.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit.
Let's shut that window down. So opening and shutting the window really does change your dynamic volume on everything. Horn, engine sound, exhaust sound, even traffic sound. When your engine cuts out and you're
At the
idling,
roundabout, take the second exit.
especially on cruise control, when your engine cuts out because it doesn't need power, you don't hear the engine with the window shut. Like now with the window shut, it sounds so white. Well, we are in Perth, so it'll be seconds now to his drop-off point. Sometimes you don't even realise you're speeding.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
And then turn left.
Turn left.
Tells me a bit late, doesn't it?
You have reached your destination. Well done. Although, frankly, I did all the hard work.
Right, let's see where they want this trailer. They're wanting it parked in the bay there, so what we'll do is we'll use gear 1, drop as extra steering axle. That's dropped. Remember, only turn as much as you need. Any more and that's the point you have a bump. Oops. My truck needs to come over a bit. It's because the parking spot is on grass. There we go. Drop that trailer off. No damage to the trailer or the goods. 571 miles and 367 litres of fuel consumed. Game time, it took 14 hours 34 minutes. $921 miles we've done on this stream. And this average fuel usage has been 64.5 litres per 100 miles. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this stream. Anything else you want to know? You want any other trucks on? You know, just leave me a comment and let me know. And if you like what you see, then feel free to follow, as more streams will be coming your way.